So today, for real quick, for those of you who are subbing today or your visitors, we've been talking about fundamentals for several weeks in a row. So a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the one-to-one worksheets and maximizing, utilizing those to the fullest potential. And then we talked about the power of one report. We talked a lot about just doing the things that we know work and have proven and kind of stood the test of time. So today, actually, last week, kind of preparing for what we're going to talk about this week, coming kind of towards looking at the end of summer, looking into the fall. Like, it's a transition period for a lot of us personally and in business. And for some of us, it's transition in BNI. We have a change of leadership team as well around October. And that means you're going to get a new education coordinator, new leadership team. And so there's, are you guys excited about that? But in preparation for those things, what's kind of been highlighted to me, and as I kind of stepped back from it all for myself, was like the emphasis of intentionality. And I know that we're intentional about a lot of things in our life, whether we actually know we're intentional about it or not. There's intentionality behind going to bed at a certain time, getting up at a certain time, scheduling certain things in your workday, or scheduling certain things around your workday, whether it's exercise, family time, personal hobbies, things you're training in, that kind of thing, whether it's, belly dancing or jiu-jitsu, things like that. It could be learning a third language, or in David Greep's case, the sixth. So the intentionality is defined as done on purpose and deliberate. Now, I'd be willing to guess and bet that we are probably going to be less than satisfied with unintentional outcomes in our business, right? Is that good enough for anybody? Unintentional outcomes that we can't repeat and we don't know what they're going to look like? And then over the course of time, I'm sure there's seasons for you as a BNI member where you're like, I'm not really getting the outcome that I want. And you don't have to publicly acknowledge that. And I'm just knowing that that's true. Ralph's laughing, right? Has that ever happened to you, Ralph? As you're a visitor, but you've been in BNI a long time. So you can get randomized results in BNI. And you can be unintentional about your membership. Or you can be intentional and at least give yourself a chance at having more optimal outcomes. And I can't say that your outcomes are always going to be the same for everybody. They're just not. We represent different industries, different classifications, different price points, different ease of entry for the things that we can refer to. It might be easier to refer someone for X versus Y based on how much trust it takes to yield a result for someone to use your service or your product. But being intentional about what you do here is why I looked at the power of one with everyone last week and printed out and gave everybody a copy, is being intentional about our activities and our actions. So first of all, being intentional, being done on purpose and being done deliberately. The next thing is learning. And so I wanted to highlight specifically CEUs. Mark sent an email out this week and put a link, several links of CEUs in there for you to earn CEUs. I know sometimes for us, you go, learning something I do for my job, for my credentials, for my license, and I kind of just have to do it every year. If that is sounding familiar to you, I'd like to dispel the myth that that is not a requirement of BNI, but it will help you in your intentionality about getting better outcomes and results for your membership in BNI. So I don't want to beat a dead horse and be like, you should be learning and da-da-da. Here's what I've experienced. The open networking topic today is BNI a part of my business or an afterthought? BNI is a part of my business, but the education learned in BNI spills over into everything. So if I'm going to say one thing to you to really drive home the point of the value of education from BNI, CEUs, books, knowledge, online trainings that you might see, is take those things for here, and then you can duplicate those things that work well here in other parts of your business life. And they can work. They don't all work because some of them are networking specific, but some can really work and can really help you. And the reason why is because of Atomic Habits. So how many of you have read the book Atomic Habits? Most of the room. Okay, so one of the most famous quotes from Atomic Habits is, success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation. CEUs can be a weekly habit. Maybe you're not learning every single day, but it is the equivalent of a daily habit where we're intentionally learning. We're intentionally attending. We're intentionally scheduling one-to-ones. So this week, my advocacy is being intentional about what you're doing in BNI, in your membership in the meeting, and then what you're doing outside that can spill over into other parts of your business life and help you generate some success. The focus this week is learning, in doing the learning part of that with CEUs, and let those CEUs become part of the other parts of the power of one when it comes to closed business, when it comes to referrals, when it comes to bringing visitors and inviting people to the room. We were all invited at some point. We have visitors here today, and we're still focused on growing into the end of this year and New Year. So all those different elements, and even giving referrals. So learning, or being intentional, focused on learning, and success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation. I gotta remember that. I'm like, say it. I've read it so many times I can't memorize it. So success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation. That's the focus for this week for education. I'll put a video out later with these slides. Mark is not here, so back to you, Mark. Back to you, Mark. Back to you, Jim.